If you're growing with a tight space but still want killer cannabis plants, this one's for you. We're dialing in the cup method from root zone to canopy. But first, check this out. We want you to come on over and join us at realdgc.com. I wanted to remind y'all, membership is free, guys. We have a great growing community over there for real. Check out these groups. You can go on over there to ask a grow question, hang out and grow talk, throw down some memes. We have 4,000 active growers over there. No censorship. realdgc.com. Membership is free. Come on over and hang out. Step up and become a producer. Get those grower dividends. You'll see what I'm talking about. Check out realdgc.com. Get grow strong, yo. All right, let's do some cup in cup growing. What do you guys say? This is a method you use.
Yes, sir. I have cups all around, man. Cups in cups, man. This is the best way to clone. You know, we allowed to show plants, man. I actually went to my cloning chamber, and it's the best way to clone. You get to move the plants around. You get to evaluate the roots. There are so many advantages to this, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I do like the fact that you have the inner cup there is clear. It allows you to visually see. Obviously, you don't want a clear cup when you're just exposing it to light, but putting it in the other cup, it's a great way to pull out and look at when you need to transplant, if you're totally getting root bound and what's going on.
And you can pick them up really easily, feel what they feel like saturated. And then you can also look. You can actually physically see what's going on. Coco Core looks a lot different. And one of the things we'll talk about is using Coco Core because it looks a lot different when it's, I guess all soil does, when it's dry and when it's wet. I went and grabbed these. This thing needs some moisture, man. But look at them roots. They're reaching, man.
Now,
yeah.
You put drainage holes in both cups.
You know, what's funny is yes, and I wanted to share my grow hack for drainage holes, but somehow I found this. I don't know if you see all the holes in this thing? I can see you guys. Somebody just went with a scissor, I think, and poked a bunch of holes in this. And man, that's the hard way to do it. The easiest way, yell at me, you go like this. There's your hole. There's your hole.
A little lighter, easy peasy. I like it.
Super easy, a little lighter. Try not to inhale the fumes, you know. But I don't. Like I say, you're not supposed to run plastic. I know, but it is so frustrating if you're trying to do this and drill one of these cups. The plastic is so cheap; they crack and everything. So hey, that's what I do. Okay.
I like it. Now let's get into the grow medium. I'm a fan of cocoa and or peat. I'm not going to be doing any heavy organic or living soil, such a small root zone.
Yeah. You want these things to go through that wet, dry cycle when there's a reason why I other than being sick for the past 48 hours, let these things get so dry. I don't mind letting them get dry because you see the roots expand. When the roots have all sorts of moisture, they're kind of bound, but they don't have any reason to expand if they're getting everything they need right there.
Yeah. And plus it's when you have a smaller container, that's when you can get to know water weight. Super easy too. Just pick it up, boom. You're like, man, I know that's light. This is definitely time to water this. Now, how much you're saying the dry back period is just basically dry back's fancy for letting your root zone get dry so it wants to expand, right?
Sure. Absolutely. Man, they say like best practices is 50% dry back. That's what's so cool is you can lift these up and be like, I know what it feels like when it's saturated. And this one is about, definitely needs water, man. Definitely less than 50% of the old weight. But what's cool about the cup and cup is you can look at it. Your plants, it's got a different color when it's saturated. It's a lot darker. So this thing is light. It's almost to a tan. It needs some moisture to it. Needs some water.
That thing looks about ready to transplant, no?
It is, sir. It is. And I am about ready to harvest. Time it, man. Time it.
So you want to be careful with nutrition as well with smaller plants, right? Low dose. I believe you use grow dots.
I do. I found this hack where I take grow dots. You normally have like a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons in a gallon for a complete grow. I take a teaspoon, a third to a sixth of that. Doesn't seem to mess with anything when you put it into the main system. And it gets you to here. It gets you. These have been in for a while. And this is where you want to transplant. You got something like this with a night root system. You can put that into 1, 3. I go right into a 5. Don't tell anybody. Oh, shit, we're being recorded. But it makes it it's a lot different than going in from a rooted clone.
I think we might have skipped a step, though. We got to be making sure we're adding a microbes, specifically mycorrhizae for early root development, right?
Yeah, I'm a microbe guy. I studied the heck out of this stuff. And back in the day, everybody would say, mycorrhizae doesn't work with fertilizer. And there was a little bit of truth to it. If you have a ton of fertilizer in the root system and then late you try to inoculate it with mycorrhizae, it doesn't form the same symbiosis because the roots aren't actively looking for fertilizer.
Yeah.
If you do it early, if you inoculate a plant like this that doesn't have a lot of fertilizer with mycorrhizae, fungus root, mycofungus, rhizae root. So you're putting a fungus on the roots. You can do that while the plants are really small. Then even if there's a ton of fertilizer in the mix, the root already has the fungus on it. So now all that has happened as the new root grows, the fungus grows along with it. Doesn't matter how much fertilizer there is. So when they're in the cup, and cup is the awesomest, the most ideal time to inoculate them with mycorrhizae. And you might as well inoculate them with trichoderma and bacillus and put some kelp on there. Don't make me say recharge.
Yeah. And also, if you're not using, whatever liquid nutrients or somebody's nutrient line, with these smaller plants, of course, go light, like Scotty's just saying, as far as affecting the mycorrhizae getting established. Usually have a nutrient chart or just be going at lower ppms, 500. Sometimes if you're using a ppm meter or EC meter, so be careful not to burn the young plants.
Yes. Good advice, sir.
Let's do some quick hits on managing an established plant. Once it's in the cup, let's say, hey, I'm going to be transplanting soon, but I still got to keep this in here for 10 days or 2 weeks or whatever until the room's ready, until the next area is ready. Lighting, I'll touch on that first. You don't need intense light for these plants, guys. Dim your LEDs down, low PPFDs. If you're using something to measure your PPFD density at canopy, which you should be doing, 75 to 100. That's pretty low, though. That's like for really slow growth, right?
Yeah, that's like in the cloning chamber when I lift the lid off the cloning chamber. And then I'm going up to 150, but I'm in a production system. So these things this needs to be ready to go in another 7 days. It needs to be busting out and ready to go. So I'm in a little bit different situation. But the cool thing is you can turn your lights up and down and stall or hurry up the growth rate. So it's really neat. I mean, there's sometimes where if you clone if you clone and then flower those plants up, you got to stall your clones out 8 weeks, right? Until you got room to put them in. So, man, you might want to be running 100 PPFD, doing a bunch of training, leaving these things for 3 weeks in the solo cup.
I'll put you on the spot. I know PPFD, basically, guys, it's a measure of light intensity. I got the flux density. What are the first two P's? I'm brain farting it.
Guru, photosynthetic photon. And I know grandpa. Yeah, what is it? Photosynthetic, how much the energy. Man, photosynthesis is cool because not how much light is hitting it, but how much reaction the plant is getting from it. It's really cool.
Yeah. And you guys, you can measure that with your phone. A lot of phones, Photon app, Pulse Grow has a meter. There's all types of different PPFD. Sometimes your light manufacturer will also have a grid. Will show basically at different heights what the PPFD will be throughout the growth. So those are the tools to get to know where your PPFD is. Yeah. Now, one other thing on this training, topping. I usually don't top such small plants unless I have to hold them up, like unless the other area isn't ready. But
look, here's my one big top right here, right? I don't know if you can see that. Boom. Watch this.
Yep.
Watch this.
Oh, live topping. All right.
I got 1, 2, 3 tops. 1, 2, right. 3. That's why I top them, man.
Yeah. I'm only going to see one.
This is the time to do it.
Yeah, and hopefully only one before you get it into your next size container, or else it's living in the cup too long.
Does cocoa core in a keyboard hurt anything? It's a little crunchy now. There's your clone right there, brother.
Yes. That's also another great way to keep backup plants, or just, I'll call them micro moms, micro mother plants. Hey, I got to keep some backup genetics. You don't need much spice. You could use a 100-watt LED. I even have 60-watt LEDs that in storage here that would be great for just doing 2 or 3 little cups to maintain them at a very low light intensity, like I was measuring or talking about earlier. And you can keep those around and happy for quite some time in those cups if you're not pushing them.
Come on, best reality show name ever, Microbes. Like, well, below 4 foot, you got to be to qualify.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Give us some comments below. Let us know how you get your plants started, what type of methods you use, containers you're using. Let us know.
All right, dude. If you dug that video, come on, you know what to tell them. Hit the like button. Subscribe, right? Share this one with another grower you know. And check out the other couple videos YouTube is recommending.